is up, Wheelers? Welcome to the Light Bars and Lockers podcast, the Jeep podcast where we talk about badass builds, answer your questions, and talk about ways to beef up your ride. As always, I'm Paul with JeepBeef. We've got Ryan Stoangie from Combat Off-Road, and tonight we've got a couple of awesome guests from Armorlite. We've got Kail and Dave. How's it going, gentlemen?
Doing great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. So, you know what? I'll do a couple introductions, and then we'll talk all about Armorlite. I'm pretty excited. I know personally, Armorlite has, basically since I started in the whole Jeep world, Armorlite just happened to be a product that a friend of mine had, and she loved it to death because she has dogs. So yeah, it's super exciting. I'd like to learn more about the company, but so tonight we're joined by Kail. And Kail is the face of Armorlite to the public. He's based in Austin, Texas. And Kail built Armorlite's network of dealers and distributors from scratch. So as well, he also is a large part in product development as well. So Kail, welcome. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you.
And then, of course, also joining us tonight, we have the head of Armorlite's aftermarket group. Formed in 2019 as a part of a major global auto supplier, Auria, if I'm saying that right, based in Detroit. Well, Kail is something of a legend in the hot rod and custom vehicle side of the industry. Dave, his history comes from the production side of the industry in Motown. So Dave in Detroit, obviously Motown, welcome.
Thank you, guys. It's good to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's actually, before we jump into the Armorlite thing too much, I have a question for Ryan, man. Tell us about SEMA. How was it?
Oh, SEMA was good. It was good for us this year personally. We had kind of it wasn't the best spot we figured, but the show was good. People's attitudes were great. Just had a lot of excitement that way. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, we didn't see a ton of stuff because we were busy in the booth and hanging out with people afterwards. But yeah, the overall vibe I found was good. It was a lot more exciting and a lot more energy than last year.
Yeah, like what the hell? I went last year and it was like cool. it was okay. I mean, it was still cool, don't get me wrong, obviously. But this year it's like everyone was there, you know?
Yeah, it was good.
I missed it.
There's a lot more international people there, obviously, because there was really almost no one that could attend last year. But
because was it COVID? Was that the problem last year?
Yeah, I think so. I think all the countries had different rules of
right on.
Travel, but it felt pretty normal. It was really good. I mean, like I said, everyone had a great attitude. Everyone was excited about products and wanted to just kind of keep things rolling. So it was refreshing. Yeah.
And I was just more because of the tail lights and the Gladiator being there, and like tons of buzz, right? Like that Gladiator was sick. And then Can-Am, right?
Yeah, Can-Am. Yeah, they wanted all over the Gladiator, so they sent us a whole bunch of cold air kits, and they put the sticker on it and wanted to just sponsor all our factory vehicles. So that was cool. So we did that, and everyone and their mother called for that spot for next year.
Is that right?
Hotel. Yeah, it was the first time I ever did anything like that. So, and then a lot of the VPs and stuff were staying in that hotel because they just walk right into the show. And
nice. So that's the place to be.
Yeah, probably my first and last time being in that space because they're probably going to pump it up so expensive that we'll make it.
Way to go!
But it's fun. Yeah.
Kail, you all weren't at the SEMA this year, yes?
No, we actually we couldn't go. We usually do SEMA, but there was a few other events that we wanted to try out. I did the Myrtle Beach Jeep event out there with aggressive crawlers, and so I passed on it this year. Was kind of curious how it went because I heard there was a few major manufacturers like Ford and Chevrolet that pulled out, and was kind of curious what the vibe was like and what it was like. Those areas are always, Ford has the biggest booth in the whole show, right?
Right.
I was kind of curious how that played out.
Well, we walked through a little bit while it was set up, like in between us setting up, and then we walked through like in the morning and the night when no one was around, and you didn't really miss Ford or Chev. I mean, they had it all filled in pretty good. They did mix around the genres, which I felt was a negative.
They didn't have like off-road like they did last year where it was all one building?
No, they called it that off-road and truck, but then they poured it into, so that was West Hall, and they poured into North Hall, and we were in the North Hall. But then we had a lot of like graphic guys and stuff, and they said there was no room in the West Hall for us. Then we go walk the West Hall, and it was like a full of like a third of it was cars and wraps and polishes and stuff. And I'm like, didn't make any sense. So for business to business, like it's terrible in that sense, because you didn't, if you're going there for business, you sell truck parts or you sell Jeep parts or what have you, you'd like to just go to one hall, and then you didn't miss anybody that you wanted to talk to make money. Like the vendors are making money, like in the manufacturers, and then you got the B2Bs, like the jobbers that want to make money. And then if you knew you killed out all your people that you need to see for business, you could have those extra 1 day or 2 days left to like kind of go mess around and look at whatever else you piqued your interest, but wasn't part of the business plan, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a business show. And then you get people that missed us. Like I got people emailing me like, oh man, sorry I didn't make it. I was stuck doing this other stuff, but can you send me like the new catalog and all this stuff, right? Which is nice but that's only a small percentage of the people that would have missed us that actually went to the extra step to reach out and say that they didn't get a chance to stop by our booth. But if I was in a hall with competitive people, then you're going to walk 10 feet over and stop in my booth instead of walking through the show trying to find me. So I found that as a negative, but outside and stuff, like the Hoonigan guys put on a really good show, and a bunch of other like YouTubers and stuff. So they had a lot of activities going. Like they're doing burnouts and all this crazy crap, and all the people filled the place with all the cool cars and stuff. So I didn't feel like it was a big deal. I was worried myself about the OEs pulling out, but it seemed like they did a reasonable job of just masking that off.
Amazing. I was curious about that too, especially with Ford. Last year was like the Ford show. I mean, there was more Broncos than any other vehicle at SEMA last year.
I think
all
the Broncos produced were actually at the show,
right? Like,
all the Bronco inventory.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, it's super interesting. One thing I wanted to mention, Dave sent over an email earlier today. I'll post it up, but listeners of the show tonight, there's a special discount, so stick around, and there's a code, so save a couple bucks on Armorlite, which is amazing. And speaking of that, first of all, real quick, Mike says, what's up, Mike?
What's up, Mike?
Essie says, hey guys. Hey Essie, how's it going? I wonder if say hey to Lane if he's watching too. So Armorlite, give us like the 20,000 foot view of Armorlite for those people who may not be familiar. Like I say, I think most people in the off-road industry are familiar with Armorlite, but for those couple of people that aren't, what is Armorlite? So Leanne, real quick, just says it's on our upgrade wish list. So there you go.
There you go. We'll get that code and make it a reality.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, the holidays are coming.
Yeah. Give yourself a gift.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So Armorlite is it's what should be there to start with. It's a complete replacement of your carpet. You rip your carpet out, you put our product in. It has a surface that is kind of like having a bedline type texture in that vehicle, but it also has insulation. So you get a lot of people that want a bedline because they don't want the carpet in there. It smells, it gets wet, it gets dirty, it's too hard to clean, but they give up the acoustical benefits of having something down there, and their floorboards get hot too. And so we developed our product to kind of bridge that gap and give you actually a better performing insulator, as well as a superiorly, that's not a word, but we'll go with it.
It sounded good. Sounded refreshing.
Right. So it's just very durable, and it holds up so much more than any floor mat and definitely any carpet. But the biggest thing, man, is you can just wash it out with a hose. You don't have to worry about dog hair. You don't have to worry about sand or mud. We haven't really found anything that stains it yet. It's just easy overall.
Okay. That's cool.
And so you just throw it in like over top of your carpet? Or is it like almost like you pull out your carpet and then?
You said you pull
It's
it out.
not a floor mat.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It's
Yeah.
a complete replacement. So you rip out your carpet. This goes under your seat, under your trim, up under your console. It's basically a complete replacement for carpet. So, and utilizes the stock drain hole plugs or hole locations. We have our own plugs.
Okay, I see. Okay, cool. Neil says it's a drop-in product, or is there more to installation? Is it a drop-in product?
It's about 2.5 hour install.
It's DIY totally.
Yeah. You don't if you have a couple of basic tools and you can do some basic work on your vehicle, you can do it. We have a network of dealers. If you don't want to do it, there's plenty of people in all over the country that can do it for you. But if you can watch a video and follow some instructions and have some patience, you can get it in just fine.
No special glues, nothing like that.
No, it doesn't need any glues. It's not going to move around. It's not like any of our competitors that are just kind of a floppy. Well, I'm not going to talk bad about them. It's just it stays in place, man. And
they got pills for if it stays floppy, anyways.
So basically it's formed so rigidly that it doesn't need anything else to keep it in place. Because once it's under the trim and your seats are locked down, it's in there and it's not going to slide around or shift or move.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, I in fact, Ryan, did Christina have it in the back of the JK for the dogs?
No.
Or was it in the showroom? I thought I saw it when I was at your place.
I don't think so.
No. Well, I know she told me
was
today she
talking
did
about it.
want it. Yeah,
She wants it. Yeah,
today
she
she was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
We got a little cutout here, but if you guys can see that, that's how thick the insulation is on it.
That's pretty serious.
Yeah. So this is just like this is a cutout piece of a rear floor that we have. Very aggressive texture, but it's not aggressive to a point where it holds on the dirt. That's one thing about bedliners, man. They just seem to like.
Yeah, it latches in all the little porous grooves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you get like that silt, and
you never get it out. Yeah.
No, you kind of get that faded, like just dirty look, and it's because those little valleys are so sharp down in there that you just can't get it out. So our texture it's just right. It's perfect.
So for the floor, so you know obviously you got the heat transfer through the metal. So when you put your foot or barefoot on that floor mat near the gas pedal, you don't feel any heat at all.
So the stock floor, if you were to take your floor mats out in a JKU, right above that heat shield, it gets to 240 degrees.
Right.
With our floor in our testing, we've while it's 240, it's been 100 degrees on top.
Wow.
So 100 degrees is warm, but as you can imagine, it's not. It doesn't. You can put your bare foot on it, no problem. You know?
And then the other side of the mat's robust enough where there's no challenges. Obviously, like the floor liner, so it doesn't deform over time or anything. It's obviously cured properly. So just for people to know, like it can sit on that floorboard for the rest of its life, and it's not gonna be damaged, right?
Yeah, this thing gets so we have a proprietary design, but there's a layer in here that we heat this up really hot, and it kind of all these little fibers they kind of liquefy a little bit, and then we press it with a 40-ton press. So we use these giant dies to compress these into the shape.
Oh wow!
And then those little fibers, once they're in that spot and they're cooled, they hold on. So like when we strip this thing and we pull it in half, it just springs right back. It never loses that memory,
That's cool.
As the sorry to interrupt there, but as a shop owner, she says Armorlite's a superior product. It looks great, holds up amazingly. And they've installed a number of them. So there you go.
And we haven't paid any of these people to take
That's
tests.
right. That's very true.
This is all
That's
free.
awesome.
This is all just people commenting live. So
our best advertising has been like any good company that has a quality product, your best advertising are those consumers that are using it, and then the
Sure.
word of mouth from them to their Jeep Club members, and it just goes on from there.
Right.
So we oftentimes at our booths, at our vending booths, we don't really have to say much because one of our customers will come up and talk to the other people about their experience, and that's just so cool.
Yeah, that's the most powerful by far, for sure, which is
For
good.
sure.
It's nice to be able to talk confidence with the product that you represent, right? There's nothing better than
Yeah.
putting it up
Especially
to
when you're at
Pepsi's challenge.
Daytona and they're drunk and they're just standing at your booth, just like yelling at people about how awesome it is.
Yeah, some pretty colorful descriptions too.
Yeah,
I bet.
They're
Yeah.
like washing all the
As-
puke out after, and they're like,
Not
"This is
paid
amazing."
advertising.
But
Hey.
you were asking about durability. One of the many tests we over-engineered the crap out of this thing. But one of the many tests that we do to it in Detroit, it's called the Tabor test, and we do it across the auto industry on any kind of flooring product, period. And the Tabor test is basically a machine that simulates your heel rotating back and forth hundreds and hundreds of times nonstop until it begins to wear whatever that surface is beneath it. And the standard in the auto industry is about 3,000 to 3,500
Like rotation.
Tabor turns of the heel before it begins to wear a hole. And we're at about 23 to 25,000 with Armorlite before it begins to even wear into the surface. So we a factor of what, eight more durable than any other surface.
Yeah.
And including other all-weather type mats, because they're really not that durable. They're just a waterproof thin layer that eventually wears through pretty easily too. So we wanted to be better than that.
Right.
That's why we can offer our warranty. We have a lifetime warranty.
Oh, okay. Amazing. I didn't know that. That's good.
But I can kind of take you back a little bit about, how is it why did we make it that tough? Why did we have such a really dense insulator that goes underneath it to stop the heat? And all of that came from the trail. We spent a good year, maybe year and a half on the trails from the West Coast to the East Coast. And we partnered up with Jeep Jamboree. And we just basically plugged into all of their trail guides. These guys have been wheeling for 40, 50 years and just gathering information, pulling information on them. If we could solve a problem with your floor, what would you do? And the number one was heat. When you're wheeling out there all day, it gets really hot. So it was like, put something in there so it's not so hot. So we knew that was one task we had to solve. The other one was cleanability. I come off the trail. I still use my Jeep as my commuter, and it's a mess. So we knew we had to come up with something that made cleaning it out easy. And then, staining. Everyone hates stains, dog hair, dust. Again, carpet. Everyone hates carpet. What can we do to just get rid of carpet? So we just gathered all this input from these trail guides and from Jeepers and these jamborees across the country. And by the end of that time frame, we knew that we had to over-engineer something to meet the demands of that kind of abuse that you put your Jeep through on the trail.
Right. And I was going to ask, so was it purpose built for the off-road industry? Like, did you all already have like a line of like in other automotive?
So I can give you the quick history. This is the Nickel Tour.
There we go.
Our parent organization that we're a part of has been making interior products like floor carpets and other interior products for over 100 years, going back to the Ford Model T. Wow. So there's a lot of that experience, and a lot of our manufacturing plants are in the southeastern U.S., which is where all the textile industry started 200 years ago. So all of that know-how and the equipment and the experience kind of is in that part of the country. And that's where we grew and evolved as a company over 100 years, to the point where, today we're basically a tier one supplier to all the major manufacturers around the world, including Rolls-Royce, Porsche, BMW, all the German manufacturers, the Japanese, all the major American manufacturers you can think of. And so for many years, including Jeep, we've been doing Jeep floors for decades. Wow. And for a long time, we've been saying to them, hey, let's do something different for the Rubicon, right? Something like this. And we didn't even have it designed or developed. We just knew it needs something better than just a carpet. And it just never really caught on. So we just figured a few years ago, you know what, we've got something here that we originally developed for the autonomous industry. You guys, I don't know if you followed it or anything, but the cars that drive themselves, but
Right.
Ride sharing, where in the inner cities you'd have one car that gets as many as 100 different occupants a day commuting throughout a city. And so we knew that kind of a floor is going to really go through a lot of, just imagine the things that a vehicle will go through, in an inner city. Just pick a weekend night, clubs, people coming out of the club haven't been drinking all night.
Right.
Like a subway.
I was one of those people. I know.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, we got to have something that can really be cleaned out easily, because someone else is going to be jumping in that vehicle pretty quickly. Antimicrobial, just durable surfaces, washability, all those things. We had been developing toward that, but the autonomous industry is still a decade away. And so we were like, what else can we do? And that's when we started looking to the 4x4 and off-road markets as a place that would need something that's that durable. And that's where we started learning, right? Just learning from the Jeep Jamboree guides. And that's when we decided, all right, we have to take this basic concept we developed for autonomous, but we have to develop it now for these other needs for the off-road. And that was 2020 is when we launched the product, and we launched it in the same month as the pandemic. When the pandemic broke.
That's so wild.
How's that for timing?
That's
amazing.
I thought Armorlite's been around for quite a bit longer than that. So how about that? It's a testament to good marketing, though, right? It's like I feel like I've known the brand for a long time.
Good.
So for those people, and I'll just throw it up there now. I'll throw it up again later. But the discount code for Armorlite that Dave and Kail have so generously posted up there, you can save 10% with code LightBars10.
And you guys don't do too many sales on your products, right?
We do a few throughout the year,
Right.
but like everybody else, we've been facing a lot of increases in costs, and that's kind of one of the first things to go. Is we can't keep giving it away cheaper if we are getting charged more for shipping and keeping our power on.
Right?
And it was a constant battle the last year. Just we had to do some small increases, but we actually built in so many efficiencies to battle it that I feel that we did really well. It actually forced us to be a more efficient product.
Good.
Because we know we're not the cheapest product out there.
Right. But I mean, there's quite a lot in that, right? Like there's, mean, just in the small conversation we had, we cut apart a bunch of other competitive, like even floor mats, right? And be like, well, there's really not much in here, So it's pretty wild. So 10% is really generous. Well, we appreciate that, and I'm sure.
Look, man, if you try to get a full kit, that's like $120 savings with that.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah, for sure. And the website is
GoArmorlite.com.
All right, cool. So GoArmorlite.com. Use discount code LightBars10 and save 10%. Amazing.
Yes,
awesome. Okay, great. So so started in 2020. You mentioned that you're working on completing the whole family, right, of Wrangler products. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we started out with the JKU. We went into the JLU and JL and the Gladiator. We didn't complete the JL 2-door, and there's been a lot of demand for some cargo products as well. We've done as much of the flooring as we can for most of these, but we are working on some cargo stuff as well. JKU cargo just came out. And then we went back a little bit. We kept going to these shows and getting a lot of demand for TJ and LJ. At first we thought, man, it's a little old. And you know what? We decided to give it a shot. So we're shipping TJ stuff this month.
Okay, that's cool. Amazing, right? Because most people, you're right. Most people sort of shy away from the TJ and
Yeah.
right?
Let that dog die down.
Yeah.
They are loyal and they're not giving up their TJs anytime soon.
Oh
That's
yeah, no,
true.
definitely pride of ownership to the TJ guys. for
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, there are still over 600,000 registered
Wow.
on U.S. roads anyway, and that's just the registered ones. And
Yeah.
there are a whole lot of them being trailed around, just for the trails that are really built up, and so that we knew the market's still there, and they've been begging us since we came out, and they've been very, very patiently waiting. So
they need it more than anybody.
What do you guys think of? So someone did have the trail one, right? They got like 100K into this TJ, and they didn't want the heat is still the same challenge, right? Like if you have a cherry stock one to like a super mod one, but let's say they had some like inboard coilover or just some different adjustments or roll cages and different placements. Is it too difficult to modify? Like if I wanted to, like, just for sake, if I wanted to cut around another roll cage mount on the floorboard, is it a big deal, or is there a tool you'd recommend to kind of cut into it or anything like that? Like just out of curiosity's sake.
It's really hard to cut.
Right.
Right.
Like, if you are going to try to cut it with like I would say a fresh, good quality razor knife.
Right. With like a little air saw or something.
Yeah, well, here's the issue is like you have one thing that cuts the top surface, but then it doesn't do well with the insulator. So like you get anything that's like a reciprocating, like an air saw, it takes all those fibers and it just gets hung up in there. If you try to use like a cutoff wheel, it tends to melt it because it has similar properties to like a plastic, so it can gum those things up. We use a straight blade rotary cutter for long straight cuts, but when you're trying to do around a roll cage, the best way to do is with a good like sheetrock knife.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
that's cool. I mean,
and don't cut towards yourself because that stuff's so strong and it'll just give out, and then you're trust me, I've learned that.
Yeah, cut away. Yeah, well, that's cool. I think that's just a bonus thing to like, just a piece of knowledge to offer people, because they're gonna have all these different things. They're like inboard this or that. Everyone modifies the crap out of their stuff, but they still want those benefits to the product. So that's good to know.
So for the TJ, one thing that we did do is we left indentations to cut out for like a rear seat, because we realized a lot of those guys are not using a rear seat. So instead of having these open voids in the back, we actually left lines, or they're like a die impression line that you can cut to put your seatbelt or your back seat in. So we kind of left this one a little less cut than our normal platforms, just because of how customized they normally are.
Okay, interesting. That works.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good question, actually, because you're right. You'll get that a lot with the TJ LJ guys. In fact, I saw an LJ the other day for sale, and I want to buy it so bad. It's only 15 G's. I don't know. I was going to call you up there, Ryan.
What do you want? I'm not buying for you. I know it's close to Christmas, but shit.
What? Oh, man.
Yeah, you got to come over with no pants on for me to buy you a Jeep.
Right. Again?
You can't just be on the internet. Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm gonna drop by, but only for content, though. Different kind of content, not that kind of content.
Okay, good.
That's your other podcast,
right? That's exactly right. Yeah, that's the after hours podcast.
Yeah.
So what does Armorlite? I mean, obviously you have the new products and such planned, but what does 2023 look like for Armorlite? Are you attending any events or?
Yeah, I mean, our big push right now is we want to finish up all of the little intricate pieces left for the Wrangler, and then we're looking at also doing Bronco and possibly Tacoma. So we're going to be diversifying what shows we go to next year. We're going to try to hit all the big ones that we love to do. Pigeon Forge we won't miss that ever. It's a huge show for us.
Yeah,
don't worry. Early bird registration's ending soon. You got to get in.
Yeah, no, we've already been talking about it, and they're totally mixing up the layout. So I don't know if it's going to be a free for all or what. So we're kind of interested how that's going to be.
Yeah,
because I don't know if you've seen the map that all the vendors are now across the street up at the hotel.
Oh, really? No,
yeah.
Really?
I printed out the form, like the 97-page form that you got to fill out. And then I didn't look at it yet. It's just sitting on one of the desks, just waiting. I'll probably take a peek tomorrow or something.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna work. At first, when I heard about it, I was really worried, but I'm looking forward to this one again.
As long as they keep everybody there, you know what I mean? Like as long as all the vendors are in one walkable space,
Right.
I think that wins, because like everyone's only going there really to go to the vendor show. I mean, yeah, there's the show and shine and this, that, and the other, and there's the indoor facility, but I mean, we stay outdoors. We've done it a bunch of years in a row, and it's hot and crazy, but we find the people outdoors are more committed. But then you get too crowded inside because it's so hot outside, and then you got armpit to armpit, and no one can really kind of interact and see your booth or find you because there's just too many armpits in the way. So outside is just nicer. Like, I mean, it's a harder work of the show, but I find it's more valuable to be outside.
Yeah,
just my 2 cents on it. That's all.
Yeah, I think for us, we're definitely going to be outside. We need the room. We sell product there, so if you guys want to see the product in person, if it's a Jeep specific event, there's a chance that you're going to be able to see it. We try to do most of them, and for the ones that we're not doing directly, we're trying to work with some new partners to at least provide an opportunity for you to come, because you can look at pictures of it, and our competitors, they do a pretty good job taking pictures too. But when you see the product in person, that's when you really realize what that value is that you're getting for your money. We call it the light bulb moment. It's like where people go up and they've heard about it, and then they go, "Oh crap!"
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough. Somebody on the Facebook group says, "Who's the goofy looking guy wearing the combat hat?" So either they're new or it has your name right there. I don't know.
I put my name in. I spell it right and everything.
Right? Awesome. Yeah, no, that's cool. No, it's so now I'm excited to see it because, like I say, I thought I had seen it in at Ryan's place at one of the Jeeps there.
No.
But
See, now you can be pleasantly surprised because anything you saw in my particular place would have been an inferior product.
I guess so. Yeah.
Now that you've learned everything,
I thought Christina had it for the dogs. I
no,
guess I'm wrong.
No.
We'll put our product all on the driver's side of yours that gets the most wear, and then you can leave all the inferior products over on the.
There you go on the other side. There you go. Before,
everybody can see.
I'm all about the before and after. I still have one DRL. I have the fender chop DRL on one side of my Jeep only because
that was like a year ago.
Like they didn't send when I got the product.
I know the
they were
story.
missing a carriage bolt. Yeah.
And where's the carriage bolt?
I have the carriage bolt now, but now it's like snowing outside, and I don't want to do it. So why do you think I want to come to your shop?
Well, you come over anytime.
Someone has a question: does Armorlite plan on doing anything for a JT bed? That's an interesting question.
We've talked about it. We like to bring. Basically, if we're going to do something, we want to outperform everything out there. And in the bed environment, we're just not sure we want to do it yet. There's a lot of options you can do back there. It's not a bad place to do a spray and liner. I think what we're going to try to provide first for the Gladiator owners is some additional acoustical insulation that you can install to supplement your floor. It's something we've been developing. We realize how loud Jeeps and Gladiators are, and our floor does help, especially if you don't have anything. But we're trying to tackle it a little bit more.
You touched on something kind of important there. There are places for a spray and liner like the bed, but what our customers have told us in the last couple of years is our product is a much better alternative to the spray inside the vehicle. So your rhino liners and your lizard skins and all that, they don't, you do that. You got all your wire harnesses are exposed. You've got a lot of heat coming through the floor now, and you've got a lot of noise coming through the floor. And now they're more upset than they were before they got it sprayed in the vehicle because of all the cost and labor to get it sprayed in. And then they're unhappy with the finished product. So then they come to us, and then they put our product in over that spray and liner, which is redundancy, but that's how they take care of the noise, the heat, and now they've covered all their wire harnesses back up again. So it's for your viewers and listeners, it's if you're thinking about a spray and liner on the inside of your Jeep, think again. This would probably be it would be the lower cost, better solution approach.
But a bed liner in your bed is not a bad
perfect
idea.
place. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect place.
That's why they call it bed liner instead of interior liner, right?
Yeah.
And now, when you install the Armorlite product, do you have to remove seats? Is it like that? Because I know with the bed liner, you're basically pulling everything out, right?
No, you don't have. So JKUs, if anybody owns a JK or JKU and they've ever tried to unbolt the seat, even when that thing was brand new, they know it's a pain. Like those bolts, for some reason, they cut them. It's like they threaded them for standard and put metric bolts in it. It feels like that. It's tough the whole way out. So with that particular floor, we did some cutouts, and you basically like bend the floor up and get it around the seat post. The JL and the JT, those bolts are easy, but you don't even take the seat out. You just unbolt it and lean it back, put the front in, lean the seat forward, put the back in. So if you've damaged your body over years of working like I have myself, and don't want to carry a seat or try to lift it out, you don't have to deal with any of that. You just got to get it out of the way a little bit.
Right. Where the bed liners, you got to take that right out and put it somewhere.
You got to take everything out, and then that stuff's going to get everywhere you don't want it unless they taped it off really, really well.
Right. And you got to travel the Jeep somewhere on a milk crate until so you get it done. Right?
That's right.
Yeah. How are you going to get the Jeep to the Jeep shop when they tell you to bring it completely stripped?
Right. Yeah. I love it. Harry says, "What's up?"
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Harry? I'm curious. Did you get those decals, buddy? I think we sent him some decals, so I'm just curious if we got them.
If you didn't send them, he didn't get them. So
right, I know. Did you get them?
just saying. And if you didn't do either, you got to send him some now because he has extra.
Right now, he's like, what? No.
So you could be out extra decals, Paul, just because you made a mistake of who you're talking to.
That's okay. No.
Hold him accountable, Harry. Hold him accountable.
He was definitely on the list. All right, awesome. Yeah, so 2023, some shows, what have you? How about in terms of like? Oh, he says he did get them.
Sorry. There you go. You should have lied. Should have got extras.
That's right.
Paul didn't know.
That's right. Yeah. So in terms of expanding products or what have you, any are you all? This is your wheelhouse. You're just staying within that sort of thing, or have you considered going into any other?
Like
branded under the Armorlite brand, you mean?
Yeah,
Paul?
exactly.
I mean, so we want to do the Bronco, like we said, in the Tacoma. With our acoustical stuff, we're looking to pretty much put that anywhere anybody wants it. It's one thing that our company, our parent company, manufactures some fantastic products, and we have one of the largest acoustical labs in the country. I believe ours is only an inch smaller than Ford's. So we have the tools to develop products that a lot of people in the aftermarket just don't have. Like, we're very fortunate to have these resources. And so we want to explore that a little bit further. We'll do some stuff for older vehicles, sprinter vans, pretty much anywhere where we can help improve the acoustics or provide an R value installation to either an older vehicle or even older Jeeps. And we're trying to develop ways to provide an Armorlite type product for other vehicles as well, just because it's really expensive to make these dies, and we're learning as we develop cheaper ways to do it that will allow us to get some of those more niche vehicles that we don't have to sell so many of them to recover these giant costs. So that's where we're trying. That's what we're trying to do now is try to learn new technology to develop product that we can give to covered bore platforms that may not be the biggest sellers. You know, like XJ guys, they're always so disappointed at shows.
I was gonna say,
yeah, well, I get a lot of sad
Public
XJ
figure.
guys. They're all walking around like this,
Yeah,
walking around
like,
the show like, oh shit, there's nothing here for me.
yeah, they're just going up to every booth and going, "Do you make anything for an XJ?"
Right?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I just have a T-shirt idea for those guys. So.
The XJ guys, yeah.
So I'd love to cover it for them, but right now it's just too dang expensive. So we're trying to figure that out though.
So I was gonna ask a question about the acoustic and the sound reduction, but actually somebody in the Facebook group asked the perfect question. So they want to know. So you mentioned sound reduction. So putting an LS in my JK, will it help a lot with noise reduction?
So it definitely will, more than not having anything.
Fair enough.
It will give you a washable surface, and it will perform as well as having carpet in there. The good thing about carpet is that the noise it does make it in your vehicle through the soft top or the wind leak that you have in your Jeep, or the fact that it's a giant box going down the freeway.
Toaster, yeah.
Right. That does absorb noise, right? Because any hard surface, it just bounces around. What Armorlite does do, though, is it does block some of the sounds coming up from underneath. So some of those vibrations and resonances, exhaust noises, definitely tire noise. That's one thing that we have realized, is that we can help with tire noise. We've been working with a company that puts a lot of blow motors in Jeeps, and one thing that we're trying to figure out is how to calm down that blower whine a little bit.
Totally.
It gets deafening.
Dude, you can, like Brent, my buddy Brent, like he works with Bilstein. He's got the 840 horsepower, the Gladiator with the big charger on it. I drove it, and dude, the charger's so loud. Like I didn't realize how loud it was.
Yeah, you like it until you're coming from Canada to Florida.
Yeah, totally. I could see how it would be just too much for that consistent.
So we don't want to eliminate it. We just want to make it, so your wife will ride in the vehicle with you, basically.
So your LS listener, what they would benefit from first and foremost would be the thermal insulation. The Hemi swaps, the LS swaps, those guys absolutely love our product because it knocks that heat down so much.
Yeah.
And then the secondary benefit that they comment, our customers comment on, is the improved acoustics. It's a lot quieter to them. Well, scientifically, in our laboratories, it compares with the carpet, but overwhelmingly, our customers, the first thing they comment on in our product reviews is how much quieter their ride is. And it's a psychoacoustic experience that they're having, because they're perceiving different noises that are no longer coming in, like the wheel and tire noise from the road.
Yeah, sure, right.
Yeah, because it's a frequency range. You got your highs and your lows, and then there might be one frequency that our floor actually negates that they don't hear, and now overall they're like, oh, it's amazingly better, whereas like we're over here going, some of those upper frequencies we're not really doing as well, and we're still holding steady with what you're replacing, but the perceived difference is noticeable. People say it all the time.
Fair enough. Okay, great.
Science,
science. Believe in the science.
That's right.
You guys should have had a lab coat for that one.
Right? What the hell?
I do have one.
Get it. I'm sure you do.
Is that your other YouTube channel or whatever?
The Mad Scientist.
Little Dr. Love or something?
Yeah, he's got rubber gloves.
It's a short lab coat.
Lab blazer.
Harry said he picked up a Project 2023 Rubicon. Good job, Harry. Congrats. And he says hopefully he's going to grab some of the tail gunner tail lights for the JL. So, how about that? Yeah, they're
awesome.
pretty sick. Rumor has it they're pretty awesome.
They are.
That's
the
word on the
street.
That's the word at SEMA. That they're pretty awesome. Good job, Harry. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Actually, we're speaking of that, we're doing 12 days of giveaways after Black Friday, so I'm sure we'll be doing it through
There you go.
the podcast. But who knows what kind of goodies we'll have that we'll be giving away. We might be able to convince Ryan to throw in some taillights. This is the first time I mentioned it to him.
Oh, look at that. Under pressure. Live.
Right? So you
some
never
now.
know. Yeah. So it should be fun. And then also we have Black Friday coming up. So do you do Black Friday? Or I know we'll post it up again for a 10% discount, but
we don't combine discounts, but we'll definitely have a Black Friday thing going on that might be the better discount option for that day or 2-day period or whatever it is.
But if you're listening to this and it's after Black Friday, then
yes.
Then use the code because it's 10%.
Yeah,
at least for a little while. I'm sure there's a limited time on that. If you're listening to this and it's 2025, you're probably SOL.
You missed out.
Right?
You might forget about it. It might be the only code still going.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, with that said, did we miss anything when it comes to Armorlite in terms of past, present, future?
No, I mean, you need to be able to see in person. So if you find a friend that has it, maybe your Jeep club has it. One thing that I do like to push is I'm pretty sure most of your listeners are already a little more competent off-roading. So I encourage them to all participate in Jeep Jamboree. We bring product out. There's some amazing sponsors out there. They put on an amazing event. But if you have friends that are just getting into it, I encourage a lot of people to do the Adventure Academy. I personally go out at the beginning of each year and outfit 2 to 3 of their vehicles with our product. We sponsor them, and we educate people on the environmental stewardship program. So we partner up with like Tread Lightly, and the academy is great because it teaches people how to do the basic stuff of off-roading. And so if you put all the parts on that you read about online or on the forums, but you don't know how to use them, go to an academy. They'll show you how to use your lockers. They'll show you how to climb something.
That's cool.
Like I've been to some of these like Myrtle Beach events where people have an obstacle and they just go like as fast as they can, smash into it. They teach you how to properly go over stuff safely to make you feel confident out there. And,
dude, did you see that guy go over the thing at the Jeep Jam? Like they all had to go to the hospital, and the guy like tweaked his back out and like
just recently.
Well, Panama
City Jeep thing.
Yeah.
Like the guy.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Rocket spit it up. I was right there watching the crazy '80s wannabe rock band, and
where it flipped.
It was fucking insane. No, he just like shot up and came down, and it was all like just mangled. He didn't roll.
I didn't see it, but now I want to check it out.
I think everybody thinks that rock crawling is like King of the Hammers, even if they have like a Sahara Sport with
right.
They just gun it and like, well, if I'm gonna get over, I gotta be going as fast as
more skinny pedal, man.
Well, momentum, right? Momentum.
Yeah, when in doubt, power out, right?
Yeah,
right. That's what they say online. I mean, isn't that the way it goes,
dude? I think they just like get paralysis and like they get like a leg cramp and just pin it right to the boards.
There's just so many people watching, they can't blow it, so they just gotta go for it.
Oh man, imagine. I think that guy's hands are like just imprinted in the steering wheel.
Now I want. Was it on? Is there a video? I gotta check.
Oh yeah, there's videos. Yeah, there's videos of it. But it was just painful to watch. But oh well, that's all right. I guess some people learn the hard way.
Right.
Yeah, if you roll your vehicle at a vending event, then you should probably go do a Jeep Academy.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
With your second Jeep.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And you said it was Adventure Academy, yeah?
Yeah. I think it's JeepAdventureAcademy.com.
That's cool. I actually, this is the first time I've heard of it.
Yeah, they're great. Warren sponsors them. General Tire and Best Top are our co-sponsors for that, and it's basically to help people gain confidence, and also, but to teach people that it's okay to go off road, but don't be a dick. Like clean up your trash and like follow the trails, and everybody wants to be cool and go off and do whatever, but if those trails aren't being respected, they're going to get shut down. So
That's right. Very true.
try to have a little bit of tact out there and respect for, everybody else wants to keep doing this. So.
Right, that's the thing. We talk about it all the time, but it
Right.
baffles me, like blows the mind in terms of
like
you're
common sense
in a
out the
Jeep,
window.
like you can't throw your shit in the back seat. Like I don't understand
Dude,
how
just
you
bring
can
a
throw stuff
bring
in
a
the car.
bag, dude. Like
Right?
bring a grocery store bag. They give them
It's
away when you
not
buy
hard.
groceries. Like
Yeah,
just take it with
crazy.
you. Wow.
People can,
Just
anyway.
tools, right? That's a problem.
Yeah, I get paid to go to off-roading events. It's awesome, but if the trails aren't there, then
Right?
Yeah, I mean nothing.
Absolutely. So with that said, where's the best place for people to find you on the net?
GoArmorlite.com. That's where you can buy the product, see the product, learn about it, read our instruction manuals, watch our videos, email us and ask us questions. We also sell through Quadratech. If you're a small shop and you want to buy the product, you can buy it through Meyer. You can go on our site and go to our dealer locator, and we pretty much have a good dealer in every state. So most of them will have a vehicle there with the flooring, or they'll have a display so you can see it in person. So if you have any reservations, see it in person somewhere. We try to make it as easy to find as possible.
Nice. And
also Northridge also sells in Canada.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right on.
And they stock in Canada.
There you go. There you go.
Every Armorlite comes with a free toque.
Right,
I like that idea.
There you go.
And then
or in case there's 6 beers, one or the other.
You can't go wrong with a couple beers, a couple pints. Yeah. So YouTube, Instagram, all that fun stuff as well.
Yeah, pretty much Go Armorlite everywhere.
Okay.
Except for TikTok. I don't think we're doing TikTok yet. Everybody on our team's too old. So
that's the thing, right? It's so true. Yeah.
Dave doesn't even know what TikTok is. He's just nodding like,
he thought it was like one of those analog clocks. He's like, yeah, I've heard those before. I got one in my bathroom.
No, I keep getting told by my kids who are young adults that I'm missing the boat because we're not on TikTok.
It's true. It's true.
That too for us.
It's true. There's no question about it. But same here. Like we should be killing it on TikTok, and we're just like too old or something. I don't know what it is.
We still advertise in magazines.
Right? So. Yeah. It's like the grumpy old guys are like, I'm not changing with these times. No way. You newfangled social media. Forget it. Give me Instagram and Facebook with the other old people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, those are real people got the money though, right?
I was gonna say, although Facebook's killing it, but like at least on our side of things, like the numbers on Facebook are insane. They're great.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, with that said, listen, Dave and Kail, I really appreciate you being here.
Man. Thanks so much, guys.
Learned a lot about the product. Thank you so much for the 10%. We'll post that up in the show notes. And again, thank you so much for being here. Love to have you back. And that's it. I guess.
And I'll see at least Kail out on the hot grass one of these days coming up.
Absolutely.
Amazing. All right. Everyone else, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If you're listening after the fact on all the audio podcast player thingamajigs, those newfangled social networks, hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. If you have an idea for a show or would like to be a guest, you can get us at podcasts@JeepBeef.com. And that's it. Until next week I can't make it. So even though we're 1 week back, we're gonna we'll talk, but it might be earlier next week if we do.
Oh, look at that. Paul's making things up.
Yeah, I'm totally making it. All I know is that for whatever reason my wife is disappearing next week and she's not telling me why. I hope she comes back, but
I was gonna say, see if her bags are packed, bud.
Yeah, she's had enough. She's out. She's just telling me ahead of time. So with that said, it'll either be earlier or later next week or the following week. But again, thanks everyone for sticking around. Thank you both for being here.
Yeah, thanks again, guys. That's awesome.
It. We'll see y'all probably in 2 weeks.
We're gonna see.
Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you sometime. Bye.